Alright guys, so here we are again in my yard working on the Genesis. I already beat the shit out of this hood and got everything right here up in the air, so it was bent down before, and you can see I hit some of this up too. I need to do something so that when I put the new fender on, it's not hitting it. I think everything lines up fine on this side. Yeah, the alignment over here is perfect. So the alignment over here should be all right. So when I get that new fender on, I just need to make sure I bend this part of the hood up, which I'm just probably going to do with a pair of pliers because this hood is getting scrapped. So maybe I'll just go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so it's not actually hitting now, so when I get the new fender on, it should be alright. I thought it was, but this is hitting. You see, when it pulled this fender out, it gnarled this up down in here, so that's actually what is hitting. So we won't have that problem with the new fender on there. So we're good there. So now it's time for teardown, and there are a shitload of clips in this thing. So let's get the clips out. Alright, now for the not so good news. Alright, so I got into this, and after tearing it apart, I found something that I didn't want to see, which is the core support. Okay, let me adjust my tripod here. So, the core support is busted from here. Core support's made of metal and composite. And the composite busted here. It loops down around and comes to here. It holds the headlight in right here. I'm gonna see if I can get by without putting one on, because the headlight clips in right here, and it also bolts in two places there, and then there's also supposed to be one more clip down here. I think this one with those two bolts in will be all right, but if I have to replace this, then the main bumper has to come off, that headlight has to come off, and then the whole front end, which is bolted there and over there, but I believe that's what holds up your radiator and your condenser. And then you got some transmission cooler lines down here. It's all tied into the core support. I've done them before. Not real bad, but it's just more money. And then on top of that, the washer bottle is busted right here. There's a crack in it somewhere. I wiped it off to see right here. There's a crack. So it needs a washer bottle and possibly a core support. Let me just pop this other headlight in. looked it over. I think we're gonna be all right. The main part of that whole section is, well, the headlight clips in one spot. That's not the main part of it. The main part is it comes out in the very end of the fender, and where the bumper clips in mounts to it. But I should be able to put a bolt through the fender itself to mount that clip in. I'll show you on the other side here. Okay, so you can see on this side how it comes over, and then right, hold on a second here, right here, there's a bolt, there's a rib nut in it, and this is all missing right here. But the fender has a tab right here, and the bumper clip has a bolt. What I can do is I can put a nut and a bolt right here to mount this clip in for the fender, because the fender still bolts in back here, and that mount is still on the car. You can see it back in there. So the fender's still going to be solid right here. It's just right here it might be a little floppy, which this one already is because this composite is floppy. This should rigid it up some, but another thing I have to do is I tightened up, or well, I straightened this bracket out here, and the one weld busted off in the back, so I need to put a tack back here on the back side of this to stiffen this bracket back up a little bit more. But this is the bracket that the fender bolts to, and then, like I said, out here, that other clip, you can see right here's where it clipped in on the headlight clipped in. That piece is missing. These two bolts hold the clip for this part of it that the bumper clips in, and then there's a separate piece over here, and I only ordered one of them. So right here, this is the end, I believe, the end of the fender. I could be wrong. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I don't know. Try to get the fender on there, and then here's another piece, and this is the piece I just took off. I don't know which piece I ordered. That might still work somewhat. I don't know. I'm gonna have to piece this together, and if I gotta get a core support, I gotta get a core support, but as of right now I don't think I need to. I can only go so far. I don't have the inner fender, so there's no reason in putting the new fender on without the inner fender. So I gotta get this inner fender out, and then I put all the clips and stuff on the new fender, and I'm going to take the absorption pad, I can't even say it, the pad off the back of the bumper, and then all these grills bolted in from the back, which is going to make me backtrack because the bumper is going to have to come back off afterwards to, you know, put all that stuff back on, because all the bolts and stuff are in the back of the bumper. I'm not going to put them on now. I'm just going to throw the bumper on temporarily. So I will put the pad in. The grills and stuff I'm going to leave off. So maybe I'll tear this down next. Alright, so what I'm doing right now, since the car is not going to be put back together right this instant, I got my front grille. That's all them bolts that came out of that bumper. These are my fender bolts. That's my bumper bolts. Get some Ziploc baggies and label them. That way you kind of, you know, remember where stuff goes. I mean, there's a bunch of different hardware in here, but at least you'll be in the right area whenever you go to put it back together. That's kind of a bummer. I just took the shifter out and thought I'll disassemble them and see if I can make the new one work. It's not going to work. Let me show you. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, so here's the new shifter that was in it. It's a weighted shifter. Kind of goes together like this, and you know, but it's not threaded on the inside. And this one is. There's no way to get that threaded collar inside of this, and I don't know if there's some sort of adapter that can be purchased for this one. I'm going to see if I can look it up online. I don't think there is, so I'm probably just stuck with this old shifter. Tried taking it apart, and it's not. I mean, it'll come apart, but I don't want to rip it apart too far and then not be able to get it back together. Yeah. And I actually just broke it. Nice. The glue that was holding it on there, so now me just trying to do something stupid, and now I have to buy a shifter or glue this back together. One of the two. Might just glue it. Yeah, I think we're going to glue it back together because I need to save some money somewhere. So, yeah. Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. I think I'm just going to order a new shifter for this thing. I don't know. I might try to glue that cap back on, but it's just not going to be right. So, I don't know. We'll see. Let's get this inner fender out. The inner fender really doesn't do much on these because, like, the structure of it has an inner fender, but I did order one. So you can see how it's completely sealed the whole way around, but the inner fender covers some of this, comes up across here, covers all this over here, and just that part of the structure. really doesn't hardly do much of anything though. So, but we got her off there. I think I'm gonna price a bunch of stuff. I need a washer bottle. Actually, let's get that off and then we'll talk about prices. Alright, so all the damaged pieces are off. I did kind of straighten this up a little bit, which I'm going to throw some paint on that. Looks like maybe, yeah, we'll bend this up, which is just simply putting some pliers on here and working on it. Maybe hitting it a little bit. Something like that. See, not really a lot to it. Just get your pliers in there and go to town. And then maybe use a little bit of a hammer and tap on that, straighten that out. So most of this looks to be fairly straight now. Anyway, I'm gonna go price some things. Definitely need a washer bottle. I'm trying to think what I didn't order yet. I'm gonna price a core support, just to see how much they are. I don't really want to spend the extra when I don't think I'm going to need it, but I definitely want to wait until the inner fender comes to put that on. Actually, I think I can throw the fender on. I might do that, but it's starting to get cold and dark and I need to not be working on this right now. But I'm going to do an episode on custom air boxes. I'm going to price them to see how much they're going to be. I built an air box for my old Audi A4. When I was younger, I did the cold air intake things just like this. Okay. So, took the stock air box off, put a short ram on it, and then I built an air box around it. And all I did was get sheet metal from Lowe's, and then they have this stick-on insulated stuff. It's like foil with foam attached to it, and then the backside of the foam is sticky. And all you do is peel the stuff off and then stick that insulation on the sheet metal, and it sticks good. And all you need to do is form a box, which the stock air box bolted here and here. And then I'm looking around to see where else there. But what we're going to do is we'll shield it off, and we'll just we might leave this side open, and we'll make a shield that comes across and over. Keep that filter back, and then we'll cut a hole in it for just this to fit, and put some door seal trim or something around that hole so that it fits tight right there. And then this box is going to support this, and it's going to hold it there. So and it'll shield it off from the heat over here. And I might bring it up and over. We'll just make tabs here to bolt it down, and then make it so it comes over against here. But there's plenty of room here. We can seal it all off, and it should work decent. So that might be a full episode. I don't know what I'm going to do. But looking at it, the damage still isn't that bad, and it's still an easy fix. I'm just trying to save a little bit of money here and there. That's why I haven't decided to buy a core support yet. And it's more of a pain because you got to take off. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's not bad, but everything, your hood, all your airbag sensors, your lights, your bumper, everything has to come loose to take the whole front end off for the core support, just because that's busted. And I think I had a crack right here. I zip tied it, and I zip tied it down here to hold this, and you can see it's moving the whole piece now instead of just moving right here. But there's a bumper support that goes on here, and then there's one that goes here, and there was supposed to be a bolt for it here. So this bracket should sturdy that fender up, and I don't think we're going to need that part of the core support. The headlight sits in there fine, so I don't know. Maybe we'll go ahead and fit this fender up. Well, I'm going to end it right here for tonight, guys. I don't think there's going to be a way around this core support if I want the front end to look perfect and look right. So I need to go price things and see how much it's going to cost me. The fender's on there. The fitment is excellent. It's a Kappa part, so I mean it's going to fit right. But one of the main things about this that's busted off, okay, which I actually have the piece here. Okay, right here's this piece. This goes in here. That's where that fender bolts. Okay, so that sucks the fender in. It also is where the headlight clips in. So without that there, I can't pull this fender in. And you can see how it's hanging out. It's not pulling it in. And then on top of that, the core support's bent up here somewhat. I have it loosened up. So when I tighten that down, it's pulling the headlight up. I mean, the fitment's close, but I kind of want to do it right now. This is a pain in the butt. So there's really no reason of me rushing this job at all. So I'm going to go in and price the core support and see what I can get one here for. Don't look like it's not horrible to do. It's just going to be time consuming. Oh well. I'm not in a rush. So I wanted to get this done like yesterday, but why? There's really no reason. So I'm going to go in here. Let's go see what prices are. Let me clean up here first. I tell you right now, we're definitely gluing the top of that shifter knob back on. Because look at this now. Down to the cords. So, core support, tire, washer bottle. I was having camera difficulties. I had to switch over back to my Sony. I was outside so long, my other camera got so cold when I came in, my lens keeps fogging over, so I can't video anything. But the shifter is in the process of being Gorilla Glued. I put the cap on, Gorilla Glued it, put the cap on, and then put 2 energy drinks on top. They balance perfect on there, just on top. So that's gonna help clamp that down for that to glue. So let's go price some stuff. As of right now, I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have bought that wing. Core support, cheapest one I can find is $350. Now, I even searched salvage yards, and it's not even any better than that. This is a brand new one, and it's on eBay, but they're decent. I'm gonna hold off on it. It's like that's a lot of my profits. Okay, that's $350, and I'm totaling up, and I don't even have paint totaled in yet, and I'm like, like that's a lot of money. Like the fender was a lot more than I figured. The hood and everything else, I still need to get a washer bottle. They're a little pricey too. Brand new. I'm gonna get a used one for around $55. It looks like, because a brand new one was like $100. So, and then I still need to order a tire, so that's going to be another probably $50, $60, because I'm going to probably get a used one if I can get the same tire. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it work. I did have to order another bumper bracket. There's 2 brackets. There's one right under the headlight, and then there's one on the side of the fender that tie everything together, and I might have to do some handiwork and make a frame of some sort out of something to work. But I do have part of the original core support there, and I'm thinking about tying that in some, maybe use some Gorilla Glue, some zip ties and shit, and get that in there, and then I'll have to make a piece from that up to the top of the core support or something. I don't know, but we'll try to make something work. And there we go, done, for sale. Somebody buy it. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta fix it. See, without the clips I cannot get that side. That side won't fit right anyway. I don't have it clipped in over there on the far side, but not too bad. I mean, yeah, it's not right. Darn it. This is starting to become a trend. So I said on the last video, new projects every day. It's starting to come true. Okay, this is the very next day. You're not going to see this till Wednesday. I was coming home from the gym, and I was coming across the bridge into Mount Union, and I saw something, and I was like, looks like that thing needs some work. So I stopped and asked about it, and the guy wanted next to nothing for it. So I bought it. It's a new project! I don't even know the year of this yet. I don't know. I know it needs work, but let me show you. What we got here is an RT100. Everything is here. The guy said his son tore it apart, and he said he doesn't even know why. And he said he broke all the head studs off. So I looked at it. He didn't break the head studs off. They're fine. So I got to looking at the motor. The motor's fine. So I don't know why he tore it apart to begin with, and he said he didn't know why he tore it apart. But for 50 bucks, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. There's the exhaust, fuel tank. I do need a cap. All the plastics, The seat is in good condition. Look at that. There's the head, the carburetor, air box, and here's the cylinder. And I looked at it and I said, those head studs aren't broke off. So I brought it home and took a little rubber mallet to it. Hold on a second here. So, besides needing a minor hone, there's not even any scratches in it. It just has a little surface rust near the top, but it's smooth. So, we'll clean that up. The piston, I was going to get a new piston and rings, but it appears to be somewhat new, minus just having a bunch of carbon on it. And there is no up and down play at all. The crank is solid. And you can see it's lubricated. There's oil down in there. So, minus a couple of stupid things that they broke when they pulled the motor out. Instead of taking this off, they just chopped it. And I think that has to do with, I don't even know what that has to do with. I think that's part of the oiler assembly. That might be why they chopped that off. But we'll take this cover off. Okay, they stripped that bolt out. We'll get that out. That's why they chopped it, because they couldn't get that bolt out. The bike's all here. Here's the cables. There's the carb slide. This is the cable that he chopped, which goes to the throttle. So yeah, that has to do with the oiler, which we're going to pre-mix it, so we don't need to worry about that. This goes to the clutch, and it's in decent condition. I can see the ends on it. It just needs pulled out. Just got this pulled down here. Yeah, the ends on it. Hold on a minute. Chain's in decent shape. Could use some tires. Yeah, there's the end of the cable. It's fine. Everything's here, minus some bolts. We'll have to get some bolts. Oh, but an air-cooled two-stroke motor, you can't get any simpler than that. So this is going to be a fun build. This is actually a build. This is not simple shit. This got to be put completely back together, and I'm going to have to find pieces that are missing. There's no number plate, so I want to get a number plate, and I want to get the fuel tank cap, and I don't know what else I'm going to need at this point. A couple, I don't need that cable. We're going to eliminate that for the throttle, but it does look like we need a throttle cable, because look how bad this is. Bent right here, and then it's bent right here. And it would probably benefit from, right here is where it goes into two. Might be able to take that apart and eliminate the one cable. So we just have this. But everything's there. And the motor is in good shape. So this is going to be fun. So I already took the bike into my driveway and just went over it with engine degreaser. And thoroughly just went over it a lot and sprayed it down and got a lot of the excess grease off. There's still grease on there, but it's not near as bad. It won't be as bad to clean up. I'm gonna go completely over this thing, I believe. That chain looks fairly new. So I'm gonna have to spray some stuff down so it doesn't rust, but overall pretty pleased. I'll probably take this piston off and clean the top of all that carbon off. We're gonna hone the cylinder, get her together. We're gonna get that bolt out so we can take care of this and plug that the right way and get rid of this cable that's just hanging free. And what else? We'll get her back together. It's not going to be for a while. I want to get old Jenny here back together, and the XR will be done this weekend. So pretty happy with this one. I'm excited about it. It's gonna be a fun little build. And a little 100 two-stroke will haul my fat butt around. Yeah, for you guys saying that XR ain't gonna haul my butt around, you wait. You wait, you're gonna find out. I'm gonna do some hill climbs and shit. I'm gonna stun it. Yeah! So, if you like this, go check out some of my other videos. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out!